Perfecto, me parece una dinámica muy buena. Entonces, aquí va un tema. ¿Qué piensas sobre el impacto del teletrabajo en la productividad de las personas?
Right, it's a great question. Okay, let's see. Okay, when I have a lot of people, there's my enterprise, my company, they usually works in the hard and the poor, right? And I'm gonna put a lot of examples because my views depending on the example now, right? For example, do you remember the COVID enclosed place where we stay in a enclosed place is a home, right? And then I remember my work. We used to take the ALIX. ALIX is when you take the measure of the vessels on board, right? We didn't have anywhere to stay on the board, right? Because it was illegal. We have to wear a mask. You remember the mask on the COVID time, and I remember that we used to work not directly with that telejob, teleworking in a cabin far away from the vessel. It's a first view is impossible. It's when we take the measure, well, it wasn't exactly, which wasn't exact, you know. When you take the measure of the vessel, the quantity, you know, because we had to take the quantity of the vessels, it wasn't exact because perfect. And we had some doubts with the objective target of my job, okay? And this is wrong. It was a mistake. My first view was when I asked to work in the harbor directly, more or less, it was impossible. Objective job, objective work, and no. When we used to work in the harbor, for example, it's impossible. It's not second kind of job. It's not face to face. Impossible. Take a measure of the vessel because we depend on the confidence and trust of foreign and untrained people and sailors and the chief officer, and they could give you different quantity of the vessels. First, could you translate in Spanish and talk about now?
Claro, lo que me estás diciendo es que antes, cuando trabajabas en el puerto, era imposible hacer el trabajo de forma presencial, especialmente durante la época del COVID. Entonces, dependía mucho de la confianza en la información que les daban personas externas, como marineros o jefes de barco, para saber las medidas o las cantidades correctas. Y eso, claro, no era tan exacto porque no podían hacerlo en persona. Así que, bueno, cuéntame un poco más si quieres profundizar más en tu experiencia o si tienes otro maquis en inglés que quieras compartir.
Right, perfect translation, okay? I'm gonna explain you later. One moment, please. Will I stay?
Podemos retomar la conversación justo donde la dejamos, así que adelante cuando quieras, continuamos hablando un poco más.
Until I jumped directly, sir. Okay, when I remember that yesterday the quantity of the vessels wasn't exactly with the papers and documents of the foreman and the rest of the my job partners, okay, my job colleagues, there. And then the job now is useful in the same way. Okay, I know second step. When I used to work in the hard factory, I have a good relationship with the people and how it works in the production. I remember one of them, and when in production is you have to stay there, right, in the factory, you know, working with the engines and all the different kind of engines and machines. Okay, you have to stay there because it's a manual job, okay. But sometimes in the distribution, they have to work by computer, or it's like a relationship with resources, all different kind of resources. And one of my brother, he used to work there, and he had a heart attack, right? And then he was working. He was working in the factory, in the same factory, and by teletype, okay, and in his own house at home. Okay, I think it's a great idea. Stay more or less, but you can more or less working 8 hours by telejob. Yeah, it's like it's stressful in the same way. You can stay there a long time, and right at home. Okay, you're surrounded, your own space, your own habits. Okay, but it's not the same when you get more of the same stressful situation, and it's true more or less live better. But the COVID the same? Sure, he had the same trouble in the COVID at home, telejob, and he had a heart attack more or less. Sometimes he used to work in the house. So you're the owner of the house, okay? And I think it's a great idea. Sometimes when you can follow your own duty, your enterprise and your company. Could you translate now in Spanish?
Claro, lo que me comentas básicamente es que cuando trabajabas en producción en una fábrica, tenías que estar físicamente allí, porque era un trabajo manual, tenías que estar con las máquinas, con los motores, etc. Pero en la parte de distribución o en otras áreas, se podía trabajar más con el ordenador, con recursos digitales, y ahí entraba un poco el teletrabajo. Me cuentas que tenías un hermano que también trabajaba en una fábrica, y durante el COVID él hizo teletrabajo desde casa. Y aunque es una buena idea en el sentido de que puedes estar en tu propio espacio, con tus propias rutinas, también puede ser un poco estresante porque sigues teniendo la misma carga de trabajo que solo que en casa. Y mencionas eso, que aunque tu hermano trabajaba desde casa, pues pasó por un momento difícil, tuvo un infarto en ese contexto. Así que sí, te lo traduzco así y seguimos charlando si quieres contarme más.
He had a heart attack. No, it's not because of the job, right? He had a heart attack, and sometimes he used to work at home, okay, and a telejob, okay, but not too much time because he stay in a week, and there are problems with the medical instruction, right? Medical dates with the doctors, and it's not because of the job, okay. He wasn't a heart attack because of the job, okay. I would like to explain you. Could you translate in Spanish?
Claro, te lo explico en español. Él tuvo un infarto, pero no fue por el trabajo en sí, ¿vale? A veces trabajaba desde casa con el trabajo, pero no por mucho tiempo, porque tuvo algunos problemas con las citas médicas, con los médicos y demás. Y quiero dejar claro que su infarto no fue causado por el trabajo. Solo quería explicártelo bien.
Perfectly, sure. No doubt. I think he likes the job. I think so. Okay.
Entendido. Vale, entonces lo tengo claro. A él le gusta su trabajo y eso es importante, ¿no? Así que seguimos por ahí. Cuéntame más si quieres. Seguimos en esa línea.
Perfect. And third step, telejob now, my own point of view, okay? Right. The thing all the time I have more the same thoughts with the topic, past, present, future, more or less, right? It makes more. Whenever I have speaking, past, present, future, okay? Future with your telejob, okay? I think it's complicated more or less. We think in the future, next generation, yeah, it could follow this type of the telejob at home, okay? But this why not more or less. I know a lot of people they work at home. Without jobs, without bosses and foreman, they work themselves, right? And his own enterprise, his own company, and they earn money out of the money. Those things, sure. And it's used almost the informatic man, so the computer when you work with a computer, okay? And I think it's for example, I know a man he works like ads, advertisements at home. His own computer, right? And he works as a graphical computer, graphical computer, right? Graphical informatical serving at home, sure. And I think it's just now in the future. Thinking in the future, there's other people they work at home. They earn his own money at home. And now it's not for me not problem, right? This is sometimes the environment, depending on the stressful situation, sometimes under pressure. Sometimes under pressure. And I would like to explain it's not bad idea with the good in a right way. Small, so you surround your fellow. You have a great fellow surrounded you for why not your family. and your colleague at home. It's not a bad idea, right? You earn money, you earn your own salary, and I think it's just like you breathe. My own explanation. You have enough breathing time when you stay at home, better than when you stay in a close place, the factory, in the office. And it's possible, maybe perhaps in the future we could see this kind of situation. Okay, could you translate in Spanish my own explanation now?
Claro, por supuesto, te lo traduzco. Básicamente lo que estás diciendo es que en el campo del teletrabajo hay mucha gente que ahora puede trabajar desde casa y ganar su dinero sin ningún problema, sin jefes, sin supervisores y básicamente montando su propia empresa o su propio negocio. Y esto les da un ambiente donde pueden respirar, como dices, y sentirse mucho más cómodos en casa que en un entorno cerrado como una fábrica o oficina. Así que sí, quizás en el futuro veamos más de ese tipo de situaciones.
Okay, this is my last one. Okay, my last conversation, sure. And later I will communicate new explanation if you want, okay? See you later, okay? See you later, alligator.